All right, welcome back to another episode of the Maturity Project. I'm your host, Chad Everett Broshears, and today's conversation is about let's do it. Just do it. Now, I dare you. Really, I dare you to do it. So, here's what my thoughts are. Far too often, we want to do something with our life. We want to try something out. We want to take the chance. We want to see if we can steal the kiss. We want to find out if that jump is going to get us across the ravine, or we can end up in the ditch, and get all the water on us and dirty. It's like building up the strategies necessary to take chances to really make progress in your life is the thing that we've started to move away from. We seem to be more interested in trying to secure safety over progress. Now, I'm not saying be reckless, but there's definitely the spice of recklessness in progress. Right? So you can sit there and say, you know what? I want to be successful, and it doesn't matter. I'm not saying just business or money or whatever. The 8 areas of maturity. I want to be successful in one of those 8 areas or multiples of them. You got to take some risks. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You have to get into areas you're not familiar with doing something in, and you got to do something. Here's the thing: you can theorize all day long. Sit back and theorize what it's going to be like and what the conditions are most ideal in order for you to be able to achieve something. And if those conditions don't show up, including your own desire to try, because the conditions can show up, but you can be like, I'm not really feeling it. You get into this ridiculous funk for comfort. Here's the really sad thing: the funk for comfort takes away the progress that you've made, because it makes you settle back and you start regressing from what you've accomplished. Exact same concept if you were to just sit on the couch and just hang out there, do nothing, just hang out on the couch. Well, if prior to that you were doing things and then you're not doing things anymore, well, your body's going to decondition. It's going to get used to not needing to be conditioned for movement in whatever work related or daily activity related needs of the physical body, and it just deconditions itself. And that's a caloric conservation approach. It's an adaptation that we have that makes us incredibly successful as a species when it comes to survival. But if you're not doing anything to utilize that system properly for survival or for progress and thriving, you regress. So it's a double-edged sword. Most of us, whenever it's the other side of the blade, whenever it's getting us on the negative, we don't really pay as much attention to it or know how to actually fully qualify it. We're just like, I don't know, I just don't feel great. My energy levels are low. I'm feeling a depression. Things like that. Do something. Get up off the couch. Don't sit there all day. Now, I'm not saying that's what people are doing necessarily, but there are some people that do. But you will regress in your physique. Your body will regress. Do it for too long, you decondition yourself. You actually can affect your motor recruitment because your body doesn't need to have that fine-tuned level that you had prior. Just think about people that do the Olympics or, have some sort of like high degree of athleticism. Their bodies are like freaking fighter jets, man. They're just so well attuned to dealing with the environment they're in. Condition yourself for it, but first let's get to the point where we start the momentum. And it's like, you know what, before the fighter jet is even capable of taking the pilot up, it's got to be built and it's got to be sourced from somewhere, and somebody had to come up with the design, and then you had to come up with all of the intricate details necessary for the thing to work. The electrical systems in it, all the advanced aircraft values that's a part of that thing. It had to start somewhere. So let's turn you into that fighter jet, if you will, that amazing marvel of modern technology. But we got to start somewhere. So if you were getting out of your bed, you go straight to the bathroom, you do your thing, take your shower, get ready, you leave your house, and then you come home and you're like, man, I can't find anything. My room's a mess, whatever. Well, did you make your damn bed? Do it. Make your bed. If you're like, man, I really need to save money. Well, how often do you eat out? How often do you buy things by like going to a convenience store versus getting things in bulk? You know, um, looking at your spending habits alone, just the simple version of it. Because once you get into the conversation about spending habits, then you can get into the conversation about satisfaction and fulfillment in life. Because you can see a direct trend with people that are less satisfied and feeling like they don't have a whole lot of direction in life. Spend a lot of time spending money or finding debt. So, you want to break the cycle? Well, do you know what making progress feels like? Now, we all do. Every single person that watches this video has had experiences of making progress in their life. You've made positive and desirable progress somewhere. It may not have been a big moment for you, but I promise you, you've had them. If you can go back and get that moment when you felt that you had made progress, then you can say, hey, I know what it feels like there. If you can recall what it felt like, it feels good. It feels it almost feels as good. That makes you go, wow, I want to feel this often. I want to feel like an addiction to it. You can build that, you can create it. But first, you got to freaking do something. You got to get off your butt and do something. Now, I'm not saying that this video is just for the people that are sitting on the couch and not doing anything, or that are sitting on their, sitting on their hands or whatever. Wherever you're at, and you want to make progress, most people are going to be doing something enough to make their life work. Now, that doesn't mean thriving. You're looking for the set it and forget it approach. Please don't do that. Please don't. The set it and forget it approach robs you of your future. Now, what it does do is it gives you the consolation prize, right? You showed up at least. You came through the door. Hey, here you go. Everybody gets a toaster. You get one too. It's like, wow, this is what I get as my reward for life. It's like, it's just the entry prize, really. It's not you actually did something to have a fulfilling experience. You won't find it until you do something. And there's a lot of people that seem like they're waiting for permission to do something. Well, I can tell you right now, as Chad Everett Brochures, the creator of the Maturity Project, I give you permission. Not that you need it from me, but if you need to hear it from somebody who's giving you the heart that comes from me, that actually does come from genuine desire to see people successful, because I want to see that. Oh God, it drives me, right? That's a massive drive for me. I want people to be successful. I want people to get out of their own damn way. I give you permission to be successful, as however that wants to be received. If it feels good to have somebody say, you know what, I got it. Because who you're waiting for to give you permission, they might not. It might be a parent, might be a friend. Hell, a lot of people you're waiting to get permission from, they don't even know that you're waiting to give them, or that you're waiting for them to give you permission. I know it sounds stupid and kind of, right? Like, it's silly. Like, waiting for permission to do something? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? I'm going to do it on my own. I don't care. Most people have the I don't care because independence looks good. It looks really good to make it seem like you're independent of other people. But yet, procrastination says something about you. And there's a lot of reasons for procrastination, but it's very possible that the reason why you're procrastinating is that somebody hasn't given you the belief in you that you feel is necessary. Maybe you don't have somebody depending on you, that you realize the importance of what they're depending on. Who knows what it is? And you don't need to get into the minutia of it, the muck of trying to figure it out. Just do something. Whatever you wanted to do. If you want to take a second and pause the video, perfectly fine, please do. What I would ask that you do, though, when you pause the video, is you write down what you have wanted to do but you have yet to do. You have yet to make progress in it. Write it down. Just write it down on a piece of paper. Now, you can unpause it when you're done with that, and then get back to the video, which is, what have you done for this? What do you know about the outcome of this? What resources or what aspects of that thing do you feel you don't have that you're waiting to show up? Are you waiting for something to show up to fit this puzzle for you to be successful? You don't need a big one, by the way. You do not need a big goal. You don't need to have a big, grandiose thing. It can be something small. What is it? I've caught little silly things. The kind of silly things that make me look at it and go, it's kind of dumb. It's ridiculous. And if people knew that I was held up by that, it's like going to the shopping, like going out to the grocery store and you got your shopping cart and you're pushing along, and all of a sudden you realize one of the wheels are hung up and the whole basket seems like it's just like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is wrong with this thing? You feel immediate resistance, and this thing went from smooth rolling to and then you're like, what the heck? And you try pushing a little bit more, and you're like, oh, one of the wheels are like actually probably caught up with something. You back away, and then you turn the cart enough, and you get around it, and then you realize it was this little piece. It was a little bean that fell out of a bag or something. You know, something so small that made you go, what the hell? Why? How did that stop me? Why did that feel like it was so hard to get around? Like, or to get through or pop over it? Why was that so challenging? Well, it wasn't that challenging. It's just that it disrupted your comfort and flow. Now, really, I could easily just shove the basket and really get the thing to move, you know, and it's overcome whatever that thing is. Not the strongest man in the world, but I'm definitely not the weakest either. So it's just not that big of a deal to get over it. But once you realize what the problem is, it may leave you with that, are you serious? That's it? No, same exact thing goes into ourselves whenever it comes to making progress. Back away enough, let's pull back a little bit, and you change your vantage point. And in that vantage point shift, you go, son of a bitch. That's all it was. So, you see, this is the reason why I love mentors. Now, mentors are great. They're not there to give advice as much as they're there to guide people to understand what they're dealing with and give insights and support scaffolding to be successful. To find a good mentor does not mean you need to shovel out significant amounts of money, nor does it mean you need to wait for lightning to strike. Like that once in a lifetime chance all of a sudden somebody shows up, like Jesus is going to show up in your backyard and start teaching you the virtues of life or something. It's not like that. Mentors are actually easy overall. The problem is the majority of people that are prepared for mentorship, they either don't know what steps to take because they're young mentors. They're ready, but they just haven't actually packaged themselves in such a way they can. The other parts of it is that they may not believe in themselves enough. Somebody didn't come along and go, oh, you're ready, and here's why. And then others, they've had people they've tried mentoring in the past, and they suck the life out of them. Because that sucks. That really, really sucks. And it happens. Absolutely happens. It's happened to me. It's happened to many people that I know. What you get is you don't have a way of qualifying that the mentee is ready. And you get a lot of people. I can't tell you how many of the highly successful people I know, as soon as you show them that you are genuinely interested in what they've done in order to become successful, and you're not just there trying to find that pretty brick that finishes the wall of who you are, but you're actually like, tell me how to do this, but tell me how to actually work with the challenges that come along. Help me see the deeper version of what's real here, not just the big bank account and what vehicle you drove or keys you set on the table when you showed up or whatever. The other stuff, right? What was your motivation? What really got you going? A mentor will light up when they realize they have a student, a mentee. But they get drained by the people that are just there like little birds waiting and just demanding somebody gives them something. Or, it's incredibly common. whenever a mentor or somebody who's ripe to be a mentor has somebody recognize the potential and then they want something given to them. Well, you have billions of dollars. Actually, I don't know anybody who has billions of dollars myself, but I do know people that are well into the multimillionaire status. And when you show up and you're like, hey, you have multiple millions of dollars, just give me some money. Invest in what I'm doing. And by the way, the majority of people, when they say invest in what I'm doing, they mean just give me free money. They don't mean like the real concept of investment, which is the return on that investment. They don't have clarity over that. And then they get into this BS movement, which is just, well, you're wrong because you didn't give me something. That's a reason why a lot of people that are prepared to be mentors won't do it. They get burnt out. They get burnt doing that. You don't have to. So finding a good mentor, that is something that actually the Maturity Project is now doing. We are actively finding the mentors to help facilitate the 8 different areas of maturity and the derivations in each one of those areas. Just do something. I dare you, just do something. Change your life right now. And if you're not certain of how to do it, you can send me an email at yourmaturityproject@gmail.com. It's YOUR maturityproject@gmail.com. Comment in the comment section as well. I do need to have direct communication discourse with you. So please send me the email, and then I can look into seeing about what works and what we can do to help support you, get you in the right direction. Just do something. If you can't or you're not ready to go that route, I don't care. That's fine. Do something. Seriously, get out of your comfort zone and try. Kiss the girl, right? Like, take the action. And I'm not saying walk up to some random girl like James Blunt. By the way, if you haven't listened to the lyrics of that song, read them. Read the lyrics of that song. What is that? You're Beautiful by James Blunt. Ooh, you will not have the same view of that song after you read it. I'm certain, unless you already know what the heck he's saying. Then you'd be like, wow, that's unhealthy. Same as the Sean Kingston song. What is that? Way Too Beautiful Girl. I don't remember the name of the song. You're too beautiful, girl, and that's why it'll never work. You'll have me suicidal. Right. The lyrics, man. God, people don't pay attention. They learn it and they sing it. They don't even realize what the heck they're singing. Anyway, all right. I know I digressed there, and I'm not trying to hit American Idol and to be discovered. That's not my track in life. So please forgive me for my horrible singing there. Anyway, all right. So yeah, get out there. If you feel that the person that you're interested in is interested in you, hey man, sometimes you take the risk. If you feel that, hey, you know what, I can take this $1,000 and I can invest it in myself. I can do this. Now it would suck if I lost that 1,000, but at the same time, what would happen if I didn't lose it? What would happen if I got the return that I'm looking for, or more than what I thought? You just don't know. You don't know. Now, I'm not saying that, hey, you got bills to pay, and if you invest that $1,000, you're not going to make your mortgage payment or your rent or whatever. If you're a renter, my goal is to make it so that it's a mortgage conversation. It's not rent conversation. If you are already in a mortgage conversation, I want to make it that we're talking about possibly having a second location or second home or investments in something. By the way, we really do need to get away from this idea that landlords are bad people. Landlords give people places to live, places to make their home. God, we've gone so far astray. If you're successful, you did it some way in the wrong way. That's bullshit. There's plenty of people that are successful because they did it the right way. Oh, the great American betrayal. Anyway, yeah. Look, we don't eat the rich with this. The Maturity Project has nothing to do with eating the rich. It has everything to do with studying what it takes to be successful, figuring out what your moral guidelines are, which, by the way, I have ethical bounds by which of this education is taught, offered, and strategized. The same thing with the relationship course. Oh, I'll give you this too, even though it's not really the conversation today. I'm going to throw it out there anyway. I've finished the relationship course. It's got a little bit of editing to do, but it's ready for its pilot program. I've already got 2 people in it. I got 2 more spaces available. With this program, it will take in, it gets all of the stuff that people are constantly complaining about relationships, and I mean all of it. Every single complaint you see on social media that you yourself have gone through, it addresses all of these problems that people have in relationships. The basic structure for a relationship, the types of relationships out there. You have celibacy, you have monogamy, and then you have ethical non-monogamy. And each one of those have their own little categories that go into each one of them. Celibacy, that's the most simplistic and the fewer categories that actually have subcategories. There's fewer of them. Monogamy, not that many subcategories either. Those are traditional relationships. And then you have the ethical non-monogamy. Nobody's lied to. Everything is above board. I will not teach and I do not support unethical non-monogamy. So, I say that because it's built into everything that I do. Your goal when you go through the maturity project is to have the most fulfilling experience of life that you can. Every lie that you tell reduces the fulfillment you have in life because you are playing the role of somebody you're not. And the lie is to convince people you are somebody you're not. Whether that is you're more honest than you are, or that you have less than what you said you did, or you did experience something different than what you experienced. It's always to convince people it's somebody that you're not. And what does that do is it robs you of fulfillment. So it's up to you. I will not teach not on anything in the unethical category. I'm not doing it. My thing here is that we are creating a virtuous approach to existence and making a life that you will be proud of, that you will have partners in your life that truly get you at such a deep level that you feel so fulfilled because of the connection that you have with these other people and that you have with yourself. We don't need to lie to get where we want to be in this life. We need to be more strategic and learn what's actually the most appropriate. That's what the Maturity Project's about. Relationship course, foundation. How much of our life do we spend trying to have the most fulfilling relationship? A lot. We spend a hell of a lot of time in our life trying to have a fulfilling relationship. And if you don't have it, you daydream about it. And if you do have it, you daydream about it, but it's probably at an earlier stage, or you don't know if your partner's satisfied, whether or not they're actually looking outside of the relationship for someone else. You don't know that. How about we increase the likelihood that they're not? Because we create so much fulfillment that even if they need to have validation that you currently are not capable of doing, you both are working towards creating that degree of validation. And then whether or not that validation is needed moving forward after it's achieved, right? Or even bypassing and not getting to that place, but that can have its own problems because if you don't get to the point, you know what the Lamborghini is like to own it, you're going to constantly pursue the Lamborghini, and every time you see one, you're going to be really, really captivated by it until you own it. Then you're like, hell, I can't get a lot of groceries out of this, and I can't fit more than one other person in the vehicle. Or 2 people, but I'm going to get pulled over because I'm going to have 2 people double stacking in the passenger seat. You're going to realize it's not a very practical vehicle. But if it's all about the ego stroke about your success, hey, let's go ahead and touch it. Let's get it out of your system. I don't mean renting. I mean owning. So let's build up the finances that could get you to that place. If you need to do it, let's do it. Let's do it ethically so that you don't get the knock on the door later on going, hey, by the way, we're going to have to arrest you now because you did some things that are wrong, and we're going to, threaten you with some serious time. Let's not go that route. That's why I say ethical. Okay? There are tenets to each one of the areas of maturity. If you violate those tenets, you are reducing the fulfillment you have in life. And I'll go over that in another video, which I also go over that in the Maturity Project whenever somebody's a student in it. It is exactly what you need to understand about it so that you're actually staying virtuous and why virtue actually has depth to it. It's not just, hey, I don't lie and I'm a good person. It gives you more reason beyond that. It gives you the whole package value of why virtue is so much more significant and beneficial, why you should seek that versus vice. The early moment of, hey, I told you a lie, you convinced me, you bought the product, I have the money, I could go about my life. Yeah, you know what? probably not going to sleep very well. You're also probably not going to be comfortable when you see this person in public or when they're there for the product or service. You got some things you want to keep in mind. You know, don't take that away from yourself. Don't take away the satisfaction of being fulfilled because you're a good person. So that's what we're doing with this. All right. Point of this video today. It's not about products and all the rest of that. I'm just giving you some insights about some stuff I'm up to. Do something. Do something. Just do it. Okay? If you got to go up there, if you got to go into your boss's office and say, hey, by the way, I've really been thinking about what I've been doing lately. By the way, don't just walk in and ask for a promotion. Go in with actual having value about what the hell you're there for. If you're asking for a promotion, on what merit do you expect a promotion? That you've been there for a while? I can tell you as a business owner, you come in and you tell me that I need to pay you more money because you've been around for a long time. I'm going to tell you that's not the merit that I'm looking for. That is not the qualifying factor that justifies a raise. There's other things. No, how much have you brought to the company? How much money are you making us? I have all kinds of other costs that I have to offset for every employee. It is not just payroll. There's insurance. There is what you have to pay for unemployment insurance, by the way. Yeah, you got to pay that. You've got everything. You got your taxes. You've got everything you need to pay for an employee. The marketing campaign, the management systems that the company uses, the digital interfaces, computers, the internet, power, the water, the lease, everything else. There's so much stuff. If you think I'm getting the majority of what you actually make, you're wrong because you don't understand business. If you don't understand business, guess what? The Maturity Project will actually teach that, because that is one of the areas of maturity, is business. So, all right. I kind of went on a little bit of a tirade there. Just do something. Get out there. Try something on. You know what? It's like, I've often looked at people skateboarding. I want to try it out. I want to see how good I am. By the way, you're probably going to bust your ass. You're going to do it pretty quick because those things will get out from under you. But if you have practiced it before and you got enough to be able to stay on the board, maybe you want to try some tricks. Be careful. Don't hurt yourself. Take the right safety precautions. But you also got to try it. You got to try it. Get into that area where you're just less than comfortable. Like for me, I get incredibly uncomfortable when I'm in my comfort zone because I feel antsy. I got something to do. I have video game systems I haven't turned on in months. My son turns them on because he likes to do it. He's not even 3 years old yet, so he's not turning them on to play them. He just likes to come over, touch the button because he hears it, make a noise and then light up. And touch them. Why? Because I can't. I don't want the downtime there. I get antsy because that's a comfort zone. I don't want that crap. I got programs to write. I got courses that need to be written. I've got lives that I need to help complement and support. I got to change this whole thing around me, because do I want to sit here on the back porch making videos? Well, for now it works, and yeah, I'm good with it. Do I have ambitions to do this for too long? No. This is a transition period. So I've got stuff to do, and the video game robs me of my opportunities. Progress will be made when you take chances. You just got to try a little bit. I'm not saying go crazy. Just a little bit. Have the conversation with somebody that you've been reluctant to do. If there's somebody, like, example for me, there's somebody that goes to the gym in the morning whenever I go in. I'm usually there around 5 o'clock in the morning. This woman's just a really nice lady. It's just not to hit on her. There's no intention in that. It's just she is so pleasant. Such a nice lady. She keeps to herself. And I thought to myself, acknowledge that. Tell her it's pleasant when she's around, that you appreciate the fact that she is just pleasant as she is. I've done it with a bunch of people, and I've just missed her the last 2 times I thought it. And it's sitting on my conscience to do it. So go do it. It's not like I'm planning to receive anything from that. I'm not. I just want to give the gift of acknowledgement to another person. I appreciate you. That's it. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. That's it. Though, I encourage you to do the same thing. Whatever it is. That thing that makes you go, maybe I should have done it. Do it. Now, obviously with care, be careful. Don't do anything illegal. Don't violate anyone. Nothing like that. But if you're like, maybe I should have talked to that person, maybe I should went in and talked to my boss, because you know what? I have increased. My production's higher. I feel justified by asking for a raise. You go in with the preparation. I've increased with my production. This is what I produced from where I was at, what I've done, and this is where I'm going. Do you want to continue to reward me for that? Because when you do that, it directly tells your boss, hey, I probably need to advocate for this person because this person is making my life better because they are doing things that are performative, that help make me look better for my bosses. Or if you're the owner of the company, you're like, I cherish you, dude. Yes, absolutely. Let's sit down. I'm going to go over some numbers. I'm going to figure out exactly what I can pay you more with. Okay, let me look at this. You've proven your point. Let me do some things in the background. I'll figure out what I can do from you. But for right now, it looks like we're in a conversation that we could do something. That's it. You don't know what's on the other side. You know what? And also, here's another thing for you. If you feel uncomfortable doing it and you feel a little weird, you're always going to feel a little weird and you're always going to feel a little uncomfortable until you practice that shit out. You got to start practicing it. Doesn't matter where it is. It will build into every area. You're like, look, I don't know. It's hard for me to talk to women. Okay, great. Guess what your job is now? Talking to women. Oh, you're goofy. You're a little off-putting. You're weird. You're strange. Guess what? Doesn't matter. Because the more you practice it, the better you're going to get at it. And the better you get at it, the more likely you are to actually be accepted by other people. By the way, my experience, and I know a lot of people, and I've got a lot of relationships in my life, everybody's a little weird. Everybody is a little weird. Not most people, everyone. A little weird. I'm a little weird. I got my things. I enjoy the hell out of them. I actually live in my own experience of euphoria and my weirdness at times. I get into it, man. I just love it. But I'm aware of how it affects other people because I've been doing it. I've practiced it. I get it. I understand how it affects people, and I know how to address it whenever it affects them in a way that I don't want them to experience me. Like, oh, you got the wrong idea. I get it. You need to be spoon-fed a little bit of this, but it's going to ramp up eventually. You're going to get the weirdness in you, out of me. Like when I go bowling, forget it. I'm ridiculous. I am absolutely ridiculous. I do victory dances when they're not appropriate. I have a great damn time because you know what? This is the life that I got, and I'm going to do it. The last time I went bowling, there was a gentleman next to me with Down syndrome, and he loved bowling with me. Now, we weren't even there together. Just so happened he was in the lane next to me. Every time I'd go up, he wanted to go up. And whenever I would go to bowl, he'd want to go bowl. And then we would do a double high five. And we're like, yes! And we just celebrated the hell out of it. Why? Because I'm weird and I love it. And you know what? He had a great moment doing it. And who cares that the other person that I was with was too shut down? Because everybody else loved it. Now, I obviously didn't want her shut down. But at the same time, what the hell? Have fun. You know what? Loosen up a little bit. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun with life, shall we? Let's do that together. Can we do this? Let's have some fun. Let's have some not so much fun. Because life isn't about one thing at all the time. Let's do it all. Let's have a big experience. Let's make this life count. You have a spectrum of experiences and a spectrum of emotions. Let's have them all. Let's have them all. Let's just have them when they're appropriate and don't deny ourselves how we really feel. So let's get a little weird. Let's have some fun. You know what? Gonna get ridiculed. I've already been ridiculed on this channel. I've been told that I'm cringy. I've been told that, don't quit my day job. I've been told all kinds of crazy stuff. You know what? But at the same time, I'm telling you, my heart leads this. I want to see the desirable change and the desirable outcomes for people. So let's do it. Let's do it together. I'm your host, Chad Everett Broshears. This is the Maturity Project. Share this video with a person in your life you want to make a meaningful conversation with. A person you want to really enroll and shake it up a little bit for them. Get a little weird if you need to. Don't get too weird though. It can be off-putting. Just a little bit. That's the fun stuff, man. That can often be what's fun. It's just a little weird. All right. The path to hell is paved with good intentions. We don't need to go that way anymore. Other people have already paved that road. We're not going to do it. The Maturity Project, we're going to have a fulfilling life, and that's also going to create an example for others. We'll lay the bricks to the path to heaven. We'll pave that bad boy. We'll make a super highway there. Because I believe in you guys. And I know that we've got what it takes to really start turning the table. Start turning the tide in the right direction. All right. That's it for today. Let's get up to something. Let's get up to it together. And don't forget, we grow through what we go through. Yesterday's mistakes just turn the soil for tomorrow's miracles, man. We're going to put it together. Let's go. Let's do this together. See ya.